savior of the Ysengrin. Dane, yo, he'll save every one of us. Dane, yo, king of the impossible. He's for every one of us, stand for every one of us. Oh. And stand for the body and everything and everything for the body.
Hey everybody, it is me, Dane, Jarl Dane, Mech the Dane, leader of the Isengrim, here with Death Lord.
Hello.
To stream another match in Division E.
Another two matches. We've got a doubleheader.
They're doing Week 3 and Week 4, and it is Bears Brawlers versus the Fjordlands people.
The hunters thereof.
Hunters thereof. We haven't actually seen Bears Brawlers brawl, or anything at all. They're the one team division we haven't seen yet. We've seen a lot of CDU in the last 2 weeks. And we've saw the Hunters of the Fjordlands the first week that we streamed. Not the first week that they played, where they defeated CDU Bandits pretty well. I think they beat them 4-1. I can pull it up real quick.
Is that week 2?
So we saw them play week. It had to have been week 2.
Week
Yep,
2.
it was 4-1. Yeah. Hunters of the Shorelands versus CDU Bandit. So right now in Division E, there's 4 teams. The 2 CDU teams, Hunters of the Fjordlands and Bears Brawlers. The CDU teams are in 3rd and 4th, sorta, because Bears Brawlers and Hunters of the Fjordlands are tied right now.
Yep, both have a 9-1 map record.
So, for the most part, if one team is able to come off these 10 games really well, then they're going to be the team that's probably going to win the division. They're still round 5 and 6, but neither team will face each other in those 2 rounds. If it's one of these situations where a team could win tonight, would say Bears Brawlers goes something like 6-4 against, or even 7-3 against Hunters of the Fjordlands. But if in the preceding weeks they lose poorly against the Bandits or Team America for CDU, and Hunters of the Fjordlands do really well, then they could Bears Brawlers, despite beating Hunters of the Fjordlands. And they could actually win. They could beat Bandits, 3-2. They could beat America 3-2. Hunters of the Fjordlands could beat Bandits, 4-1, and then America, 5-0. And before you know it, despite having won tonight, they actually still lose the division. So that's just something to.
It could get wacky.
That's just something to be aware of.
Of course, if one team goes on a streak tonight, they'll be feeling pretty good for the rest of the season.
Right, and it's just something that happens in these fights. They're it's about beating the team in front of you, but there's still 2 weeks to go, and they're tied up now, and whoever wins tonight will be the leading team in the division. But they can't they can't rest on their laurels in the next 2 weeks. Like I said, they could even still win those matches, but if the other team's blowing out, then they could end up the winner of tonight's matches could end up still the loser. And that's just how that cookie crumbles. So either way, though, we will see who tonight is the better team. We saw in the week 2 when we watched Bandits and Hunters of the Fjordlands battle. The Hunters of the Fjordlands love to take Brawl, and it'll be interesting to see if they also take Brawl. If they continue with that, and if Bears Brawlers live up to their names and also Brawl. I love a good Brawl. Big fan of Brawl. I mean, I was talking to my team earlier today about it. I'll take whatever strategy wins. And if it's brawling, great. I think in the past some teams have. I think brawling is one of those skill sets in this game that has kind of. It feels like it has like a low entry level, and so it's not as. It's something you can kind of get a bunch of people without a lot of skill or cohesion to do semi-successfully. But and so it's kind of looked down upon, I think, in higher competitive levels at brawling. But I do think in the right place, the right time, a really well coordinated, really high skill brawl push can be more devastating, or at least as effective as like a long range trade deck. I think it just takes finesse, and I think sometimes you might need more skill to pull off the brawl than you would to pull off the trade successfully.
Once you're trying to counter a high level team by using brawl, then yeah, I mean they're going to be accustomed to dealing with that, and there certainly are ways to deal with it. So you need to pick up some extra tricks, like split pushes and having two or three sort of packs running at once that can all handle their own targets between each other, not taking the NSR approach, which is kind of what gets brawl and NSR kind of get lumped together in that sort of when people talk about it in a derogatory fashion. Personally, I think Barrows Brawlers is probably just a decoy, and they go ER large and ER peeps
I mean,
all the time.
They Bears Brawlers have been along for a long time. Been around for a long time. I think I've casted a match before in MRBC when they are in the lower divisions of MRBC. So they're not a new team. They've been here for quite a while, and their name is Bears Brawlers, but that in no way means that they are limited to just brawling. I mean, we we might not see them brawl at all, which would be perfectly fine. Especially, as I said, they've been around for at least 5 years, maybe six, seven. Um, yeah, 7 years ago they could have been a hardcore brawl team and named themselves that, but we live in a new semi-post-pandemic reality where Bears Brawlers found themselves over the COVID times and now show up as an LRM team.
I think both teams have found themselves ready to go now.
All right. In that case, we will drop. Let me just switch over my overlay to make sure that the world does not end.
No radio casts tonight, folks.
We've never done one. We never will. So yeah, this is going to be 10-game series. We're in for a long one, everybody. Whoever has come
I
to
hope
watch.
you've got your snacks.
Yeah. So this is actually, we're starting on week 3. We'll do 5 of these, and then we'll go to week 4 and do 5 of those. And then I'll never cast Division E again. All right, this is Forest City Classic. I have fought on this map competitively in the long ago times when it was not called Classic. We saw previously both teams kind of fight in the north around Sigma, a little bit in front of Sigma around these rocks over here. So I'm curious to see what they do this week. Well, not both these teams. The Fjordlings did.
Shit, Dane.
Yeah.
We have a technical issue.
What is it?
Stream delay.
Doubt I re. Oh well, I'll fix it after this fight. Is what it is.
Well,
All right.
we've got a live match, and we've got shots across the map to begin with. Bears Brawlers are pretty brawly. They got a lot of SRM boats.
They're moving together pretty well, and they're not taking much damage. We saw Fjordlands throw a few shots downfield at them, but nothing serious. What do we got? That Hunchback 2C down to 92. What is that Hunchback 2C? Is he brawling?
That Hunchback 2CB actually has LRMs. Monsoon.
All right, Bears Brawlers are going tunnel, and there is a firing line of Fjordlings waiting for them on the other side. Now,
they're waiting below.
they're a little bit low, which I'm not. It probably will work out, but I would prefer to just jam them up inside of the cave rather than. Yeah, we'll see what happens. There's two.
Yeah, the hunters have the weapons to jam them up in the cave.
They do have these 2 dire wolves in the back, and I think those guys they're giving Overwatch to their team at that low end. So that's probably why they don't want to push forward towards the cave, is that they want to wait for Bears Brawlers to come out, where these two direwolves can just pound them
Yep.
from afar. So yeah, you see some large lasers coming from one of the direwolves right now, tickling the Zyko and the Arctic cheetah. Their commanders ran around the other side. I don't know how cognizant they are. Oh yeah, well, they're hitting them now. We've got the push now coming from the left. This is going rel- right exactly how the Fjordlings wanted it to go. They're getting shot from the dire wolves, and the rest of the Fjordlings are able to just isolate and take out one mech at a time. You saw Mr. Bear went down on its rushing. Next up, they're focusing this catapult in the back, Pizzle Whip. He's down. Yeah, this is so you can see LRMs are coming out of that Hunchback to see. He's not able to get locks. His teams
Back.
aren't up long enough. Each one of these mechs are basically coming out one at a time, just getting pounced on. The Direwolves are doing good work here in the back, just constantly laying into
Yep.
them. It's kind of a.
Well,
I'm
they're
actually
picking up some kills here at the end, but it could be hard to bring it back.
I'm impressed that Bears Brawlers were able to get the 3 kills that they got. They pretty much did everything that the Fjordlings wanted them to do.
Yep.
They pushed right through this gap, uh, right into their firing line and their Overwatch.
Yep. Well, the Bears did push all the way through pretty aggressively and forced some of the Fui Orleans to show their backs. I kind of expect that's where the kills came from.
Now, I actually am not sure about these dire wolves. I think they're shooting ER larges, and I feel like they're.
Yeah, the ER large costs.
And I wonder if a DACA would have been a better for the ranges they ended up fighting at. I mean, it doesn't matter, but again, Bears Brawlers got 4 kills, and like that's impressive considering how this game went down on a strategic level.
Yep.
So yeah, we have those Direwolves 400, the Warhammer that went down 477. You don't see a lot of big numbers from Bears Brawlers, but again, they
Uh,
they managed as a team to get 4 people down. So
yeah, very even, efficient damage numbers all around.
my personal feeling is that I think a DACA Direwolves might have been able to do more damage at that range with the amount of just free fire that they had there. I'm going to briefly stop the stream and restart it up with a delay though, just so that
Yep.
so everyone, I'm sorry you're gonna have to wait about 5 minutes now for
Uh,
this to continue.
yep.